今日もカタカナです。Welcome back to my second episode of Katakana, where we take a closer look at how Japanese incorporates foreign sounds that were not originally part of Japanese. We'll also examine the vibrant world of onomatopoeia, those expressive sound words that add depth to language, as well as the unique phenomenon of Japanese-made English. And to wrap things up, I will share some insights into the history of katakana. Are you ready? それでは始めましょう。When a word from English or any other language is used in Japanese, katakana helps to write it down in a way that sounds similar to the original sound. And this is done by adding an extra vowel sound. And here are the examples of transcribing those words by adding vowel sounds. To transcribe the fricative F sound, such as fa, fi, fe, fo, you write with a regular size hu and attach smaller size vowels. Remember, this combination only happens with katakana, never with hiragana. When you type these words, for F sound, you can just simply type this way. Fa for fa, Fi for fi, and Fe, fe, Fo for fo. However, when you have a word like this, fashion, fashion is fashion, where it has double consonants and glide sound together, then you have to type it this way. Fa for fa, SSHO for little 2 regular shi little yo, and double N for sound. Now, if this is hard for you to figure out, you can type L on your keyboard and then type these vowel letters to transcribe small a, I, U, E, O. それでは、カタカナの言葉を読んでください。I'll point to the word, so please read. はい、読んでください。ファッション、フィギュア、フェイク、フォント。いいですか？ And there's no T or D sound in Japanese. So when you want to transcribe T sound, you write with a regular size te and attach little I to it. If you type TI for T, then you end up having chi instead. So for T sound, you have to type it this way. TE for te and LI for little e, and you press bar for long vowel sound, and then you can convert the whole thing to katakana word by pressing F7 key. The next word is disc, and the last word is dual. And these combinations are also used to accommodate foreign sounds. I will read the katakana words. Please guess what they mean. Whiskey, whiskey. Website, website. Walking, walking. Shaker, shaker. Jet, jet. Chain, chain. Japanese language does not have a direct equivalent to the English V sound. Historically, when translating English words to Japanese, the V sound often takes form in the katakana character that represent the B sound. like ba, bi, bu, be, bo. However, there has been an introduction of a different katakana character to represent the V sound more accurately. This character is a combination of the katakana u with a diacritical mark, two dots, and this allows for a more accurate representation of the V sound, like va, vi, vu, be, vo. Let's take a look at some examples. And these are some word examples that are translated using the B sound. ベトナム video ボリューム And over here we have some words that uses the V with two dots. Louis Vuitton, violin, volcano. The choice between using the B sound and the V sound can depend on the word and its common usage, and sometimes personal or regional preference. The B sound is still very common and widely understood, especially for older words and in contexts where the V representation has not fully caught on. Now you have all the rules in your head. Let's read some katakana words. はい、これを読んでください。Party. It means party. はい、読んでください。Cafe. Cafe. It means cafe. 読んでください。Duet. Duet. Duet. はい、読んでください。ボディウォッシュ。ボディウォッシュ。Body wash is similar to soap, but it is often in liquid form and is specially made for washing the body. So this word, wash, has little o, little tsu, and little u. So you'll have to type it this way to transcribe this word, wash. When writing words, including names in katakana, there's no strict right or wrong way to do it. This is because katakana is often used to phonetically transcribe foreign words and names into a form that Japanese people can pronounce. Many words, especially newer ones introduced to Japan, are written in katakana based on how they sound. Whomever first heard these words will decide how to write them in katakana. Halloween is a fairly new event people started to celebrate, and when they first heard this word, they didn't know whether to have this long vowel sound here as Halloween or Halloween. And some mass media wrote this event as Halloween. And then whomever saw that word didn't know where to put the pitch, whether to say Halloween or Halloween. And nowadays, I think many of the Japanese people call this event as Halloween. Brexit is the same thing. This is something new to everybody's ear, but the mass media didn't know whether to transcribe it as Brexit or Brexit or Brexit. So I think people decided on call it as Brexit. And this means when you write your name in katakana, you're essentially guiding Japanese people on how to pronounce it. Therefore, it's best to write your name in katakana in a way that closely matches its pronunciation. This helps ensure that people in Japan will pronounce your name as accurately as possible. So, Alisa, do you want to be called as Alisa or Alisa in Japan? Brandon, do you want to be called as Brandon or Branden? Sophie, Sophie or Sophie? How about Mirela? Do you want to be called as Mirela or Milera? You decide your own name, how to be transcribed in katakana. Japanese have only one given name and one surname. So you start with last name and then write your first name in this order. Mr. Takashi Yamada will be Yamada Takashi. Foreign names are normally written in their native order. So if your name is John Smith, you can write John first and then your last name, Sumisu. Dot or space is often used between the first and last name. In Japanese, the English L and R sounds are perceived as the same sound. Similarly, the TH sound in English words like thank you is heard as a S sound, and the TH sound in mother is heard as a Z sound. And additionally, there's no distinction between the A sound in but and the A sound in bat. Therefore, when you hear words containing these sounds, you must determine their meanings from the context. So when I say light, light, it can mean either light or right, and leader, leader. It can be leader or reader, and bus, bus. That is either bus or bath, and close, close is close or store is closed. Katakana words are not only from English, it could be any other foreign languages. So the names of the country can be tricky. So let's try and figure out which country it means for these words. The first one, イギリス, イギリス. It's England. This one, ドイツ, ドイツ. It's a German word and it means Germany. Swiss, Swiss is Switzerland. オランダ、オランダ. Netherlands and ギリシャ、ギリシャ is Greece. Did you guess them all right? Japanese is very rich in onomatopoeia. It uniquely captures sounds and states through words, extending beyond mere sound imitation to express feelings, conditions, and actions. Here I will just introduce sound of some animals and nature. If someone said these words, they are definitely referring to the sound of these animals. So please guess who's making these noises. Okay, first one. Boo, 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 boo. A pig. Ka, 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 ka. A crow. Ga, ga. Okay, that's one for dogs. One. Ga, 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 ga is a duck. Chun, 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 little birds. Ho, 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 ho. That's this guy. And last one. Koke koko. Koke Kakekoko is a rooster. These are the examples where onomatopoeia is used to express sound of nature and sound of machines. So let's take a look. First one, goro goro. Goro goro is the sound of thunder. Hue hue. Hue hue is the sound of wind. And para para. Para para. Para para is a light rain. How about zaza? Zaza is a heavy rain. Gachan. Gachan is the door being closed. And kach kach. Kach kach is a tick tick noise of the clock. Let's take a look at Japanese made English terms. Wasei-eigo, or Japanese made English, refers to words or phrases that, although sounds like English, are actually unique to Japanese and may not be understood by native English speakers in the way they are intended. Let's take a look at Japanese made English terms relates to food. I will say them in Japanese, so please guess what they mean. 1番、フライドポテト。フライドポテト。French fries。2番、シュークリーム。シュークリーム。Remember, this is all food-related items, nothing to do with your shoes. It's a cream puff. Shoe cream came from a French word, shoe à la crème, or something like that. Number 3, 3番, pão. Pão. This is a Portuguese word for bread. And 4番, ホットケーキ。ホットケーキ。It's pancake. 5番、シーチキン。シーチキン。This one is hard. It is canned tuna. 6番、ピーマン。ピーマン。This is another French word for green pepper. 7番、アメリカンドッグ。アメリカンドッグ。corn dog. どうですか? I hope you can order the right item when you go to a restaurant and buy these food. Here are a few examples of Wasei-eigo based on my own experiences where I encountered difficulties in communicating my message to English speakers. So let me read them to you. 1番、コンセント。コンセント。When I moved to a new house, I was looking for consento. Where is consento? Where's consento? And nobody could help me with that. It means electrical outlet. Number 2, 2番、マンション。マンション。I said my mother lives in a mansion in Tokyo, and it means apartment building. So sure enough, she lives in mansion in Tokyo. And number 3, 3番、ベビーカー。ベビーカー。Can you guess that one? Number 4, サービス。サービス。In Japan, service is often used to mean something given for free or as a bonus. 5番、バイキング。 Baikingu. That means buffet and all-you-can-eat restaurant. It has nothing to do with pirates. どうですか? Japanese people really like to abbreviate names of stores, titles of books and films and all that. So let's take a look at these abbreviated words and then see if you can guess what it means. So let's start from this blue category. Please read and then guess what it means. First one, 読んでください. Makudo for McDonald's. Next one. Staba for Starbucks. Kenta for KFC or Kentucky Fried Chicken. Next one. Konbini for convenience store. And then last one. Famima is for Family Mart, which is a convenience store chain that originated in Japan. いいですね. Next, let's read game-related abbreviated words. はい、これから行きましょう. Please read this one. スマブラ means Super Smash Brothers. はい、next one. Pokemon for Pocket Monsters. This one. ドラクエ is Dragon Quest. This one. So this is not a title of games, but mobile game means mobile game. And the last category is for the little devices you can find around your house. Okay, first one, 読んでください. パソコン personal computer. Next one. リモコン remote control. Next one. デジカメ digital camera. And next one. エアコン air conditioner. Today, we learn all sorts of katakana character combinations to accommodate foreign sound. And yes, we use katakana for foreign words, but the katakana character itself was invented in Heian period in the early 9th century. As you can see from this chart, Buddhist monks invented katakana by taking pieces of kanji to stand for sounds, making it easier to read and understand Chinese text. Until the end of World War II, katakana was the primary script used in official documents. And interestingly, schools then taught katakana before hiragana, which is the opposite of how you usually learned today. Please look at these two characters, the I and E under what line? They were eliminated after the war, but Japanese originally had 48 phonetic sounds, and then up to only 70 years ago, these I and E were used alongside the current I and E. My aunt said that when she first learned katakana in elementary school, she wrote her name Mitsue using this character E. She said after these two characters disappeared post-war, she changed it to the current E. Well, after talking about brief katakana history, let me bring up a totally controversial but interesting theory called katakamuna. Now, katakamuna refers to the characters or documents used in an ultra-ancient civilization that might have existed in Japan nearly 12,000 to 40,000 years ago. And that's a long time ago. So there's no official documents to support it, but if you're interested, please look into it. Katakana characters look like this. They are represented by shapes made from combination of circles, semicircles, and lines and crosses. Japanese written vertically or horizontally, but katakana characters are written in a spiral shape and they're read from the center to outwards. And there are 80 chants like this in katakana document. Look at these characters from the katakana chart. I see some characters such as ki, sa, and ri are very similar to today's katakana. Imagine the sounds of katakana you're learning today may have been used by the people who lived over 12,000 years ago. That would make katakana take on a different meaning. There are 80 songs or chants of katakana, and this is the fifth chant. It says the fifth song talks about the basic energies of life and is known to provide energy by just chanting it aloud. Here's an interesting point. These first 5 characters represent the initial letters of the Japanese counting method from 1 to 5, like 1つ、2つ、3つ、4つ、5つ. And the 5 characters in the third line represent the initial letters of the Japanese counting method from 6 to 10. 6つ、7つ、8つ、9つと. Now you're the expert of katakana, so let's find out if we feel that energy boost by chanting this song together. Please note that this is not a coherent sentence, but rather a series of meaningful sounds strung together. The tip of reading this chant is to read it out slowly so that the sounds contained in each syllable resonate with each other. There's no melody, just read it together as I point each katakana. いいですか？はい、読みましょう。ひふみよいまわりてめくるむなやことあうのすへしれかたちさき。どうですか？ Could you read the whole verse together with me? As I put this episode together, I realized how grateful I am that katakana exists in the Japanese language. Katakana helped Japan to understand foreign scripts back in Heian period, and even today we owe katakana so much, dealing with all sorts of foreign words. It is said that Japanese characters possess a spiritual power known as kotodama. If katakana has indeed existed for more than 12,000 years, I'd like to cherish the 48 phonetic sounds, including the I and E sounds that disappeared after World War II. I really enjoyed sharing katakana today, and I hope you did too. Please try leaving your name in katakana in the comments, and I'd love to meet you through your katakana name. Well, until next episode, さよなら。